Alright, here we go. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things here, okay? I'm going to piggyback off of my pantheism video that I did. I had to wake up because my dog was crying and my other dog was being attacked by my other dog, so had to take care of that. Woken up in the middle of the night, and now here I am. I have to do this now. So I'm going to talk about pantheism. I'm going to go into the argument of a supreme God, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Zen Buddhism, and then I'm going to bring it back to the great question that all atheists asked. If they were theists at one time, they all asked themselves this great question to help them along with their path. So I was thinking about the video that I did yesterday about the pantheism and if God's in all of us, right? If God is in this because it has form, if God is in the pencil, my hand, this, everything, if God is in that because everything has form, then it can't be an all-knowing God. I was just thinking, basically along the lines of the Bible. I haven't really read any other religious texts. I read a little bit of the Quran. I have a little bit of that. I have a Quran here, but I haven't read all of it. So I need to read up on other religious texts to see what that God is like. But I was just thinking, no, it's impossible for an all-knowing God. Because how do you write about an all-knowing God? How do you do that? If an all-knowing God is in us, and an all-knowing God is a part of us, then wouldn't we be a little bit all-knowing too? And how do you write about an all-knowing God? You can't. Our knowledge is limited, so any person can write about anything that they want to write about. And I think the Bible and other religious texts are just there because people are afraid, and I think it's natural to be afraid of what is after death. I think it's a very natural thing because we don't know. And I think it's okay to be afraid of I don't know what's out there, but I don't think it's okay to make something up to make you feel comfortable, and maybe, okay, let me say this. Maybe it's okay to make something up, but not to force other people to believe that. Okay? So I was just thinking about my pantheism thing, and then I thought, okay, what about the idea of a supreme being? Okay? So when you think of a supreme God, you think of different religions, right? So you break it down, different religions, and then this person says, my religion is the right one. And then this person says, no, my religion is the right one because this God is the supreme God. And the other person comes and says, no, I have the Bible, and the Bible trumps everything over, and Jesus is the God, and you have to worship him, and if you don't, then you go to hell. And 500,000 other people say the same thing about their religion. Okay? They're all saying the same thing, that their God is supreme. Because if he's not supreme, then why are you worshiping him? Right? Okay. So, you can't say that all the gods are supreme. There has to be one. That's the whole idea of a supreme being. Because if every single one of those people is correct, if every single one religion is correct, then you got all these beings that are supreme, and they're all equal, and they're not supreme. They're equal, and that will be equal to like the human race. There's no race that's better than the other. I'm not better than anybody else. There's no religion that's better than any other else. There's nothing. We're all equal here on this earth. And I cannot believe in a supreme being anymore because the whole idea of my God's better than your God and my religion is the way to go, and if they were all, you can't. And then I look at the Bible, okay? God killings, and he kills all these people, and he's very human-like. He has all these emotions. He's angry, and he can't control his anger. That sounds like a human. And why would I want to worship someone like that doesn't sound so very supreme? Why would I want to worship someone that sounds like another human? That would be like man worship or human worship, and that makes no sense to me. So, I was just kind of, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can believe in a supreme being. And if he is a being and he's not supreme, then he's not worth worshiping at all. Because I'm not going to worship another human being. And I'm not going to worship someone just like me, and I'm not going to worship someone with limited knowledge. No, there's no point in worshiping a being that's just like you. Even if you do want to call God, and he doesn't have, and if he, she, it, whatever, I don't care what you call it, if that thing, God, has limited knowledge, then why would you want to worship it? There's no reason to. And then if that thing also is not supreme, then why would you want to worship it? That's the whole point of worshiping something, because it is supreme and because it is all-knowing. Now, let's go back to Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism is just basically be here now. Be. Be. We are human beings, right? We're not human doings, we're human beings. But what is being? And if you want to go deeper into this, you can look into Sherry Huber, okay? Sherry Huber's book is awesome about going into Zen Buddhism, and that's why I like it, because there's no God talk in there. There's nothing like that. It's just be here now. Go into the present. If you're sad, go into that feeling. If you feel guilty, go into that feeling. Feelings change. Feelings pass. They ebb and flow. Depression comes and goes. Guilt comes and goes. Anger comes and goes. Feelings change. Go into it. That's it. That's all it is. Be here now. Ground yourself. That's it. Ground yourself to the ground. Feel your body. Be here now. And there's tons and tons and tons of authors out there that talk about Zen Buddhism. I also like Tibetan Buddhism because that's more about love and feeling love for other people and feeling compassion and grieving for other people. You can grieve for yourself, and then you expand that out to grieve for the whole entire world. And it doesn't really involve a god or a supreme being. That's why I like Zen Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhism. I really dig those. So, being. What is being? You have to ask, it takes you deep into thinking. Okay, so put your critical thinking caps on. What is being? Be here now. Be in the present. Be fully aware. Okay? Now, there was all this talk about 2012. People are going to become aware. People are going to become aware. People are going to, all this, the world, not the end of the world, but the end of the world as we know it. And this whole awakening process, right, is going to come about with this whole consciousness stuff, right? That was the whole thing about this 2012. Now it's 2013. Okay, and this whole waking up stuff. And I didn't really think of it waking up as a reason. I wasn't before today and before 2013 and everything. I was actually thinking of, does that mean people are going to be waking up to consciousness and, they're just going to be more aware? They're going to be here now and they're going to be living in the present. That's what I was kind of thinking. But now I'm actually thinking maybe this whole waking up does have to do with reason, okay? Because if you are a being, and I am a being, and my dogs are beings, and my cats are beings, and everything's a being, and be here now, what's the idea of a supreme being? What does that mean to be a supreme being, or to have a belief in a supreme being? What is that? A supreme being. Now, I'm a human being, and I'm a lot of people. It kind of works both ways. People say, "Well, I didn't know that about you." Well, I'm just me. It's like the identity thing with me being gay, straight, blah blah blah. I don't really need a label. I'm just me. That's it. I don't really need a label for gay, straight. But I guess if somebody wanted to put me in a box, okay, I'm gay. I think I'm more gay and lesbian than bi, but that's why I don't like to put myself in a box, because if I sleep with a guy one time, does that mean I'm no longer a lesbian? I really don't think I need a label. I'm just me, and that's the being part of it. That's it. So here's the ultimate question it all boils down to, and I love it. Okay? It goes back to consciousness, and we're going to put a supreme being in that, okay? Does life and does consciousness require a supreme being? Now, consciousness is just being aware. Okay, I am conscious. When I am asleep, I'm not conscious. I'm not aware of what's going on around me. When I am in surgery and I am under, I am not conscious because I am not aware. Okay? Does consciousness and being alive require a supreme being? I will tell you the atheist view, and their answer is no. That is why they are atheists, because they do not believe in a supreme being. And I, because of this process, I cannot believe in one either. There can't be one. Now, from what I read, the burden of proof is on the theist. The atheist does not have to give a reason why they don't believe. But I just have. And if there's any other reasons, then I can share. But for right now, I don't see a reason to worship a being that's very human-like and not supreme. I don't see a good reason to do it. I don't.